Hey everybody, Shane here, daily-astrocat.com. And today is Saturday. It is the 23rd of May. So what do we got here? Well, we got our void of course moon finally entering Virgo at 2:57 in the morning. Oh, that's pretty good, right? Now, while I'm grateful for what I may have accomplished the day before on Friday, my inner perfectionist still wants to accomplish more. Oh, more you say, Shane? Yes, more. Look, I even picked up my phone while I was writing this to clear out some work emails. That's how stupid it is, right? Okay, so here's the thing. We're in a limited place thanks to the holiday weekend for work, right? So this is good because it will keep us from overthinking to a degree. It will also have us value activities that would be appropriate to this time of year. Earthy Virgo will wrestle those myriad Gemini ideas, right? All those things that are popping around, and to the ground and force us to pick ones that are healthy and that will pass the common sense sniff test, right? Does this make sense right now? Yeah, that's where we're at. We're open to suggestions, but, only to a degree. Operate from a position of gentle strength. With 1 week left, May still feels like it's over, okay? It does. It feels like it's over, and we still have a week left of it. And that's because we've been given a target that's well outside of the normal range. So in other words, today's going to present us with some ideas and some targets and stuff like that we've been presented with the entire week that just has us looking over the horizon in a way. And this is a good thing because this is how we move forward, right? But we also get there by being very flexible. And today's keyword is flexing. So the color is new red oak leaves, the kind that are both green and reddish. And something has shifted. We feel like we are on the outside looking in. Now, this is interesting. This is an interesting place to be in because it broadens our goals and visions. There's more things possible. There's more things that we're capable of doing. There's more things that we can look out and see. And this is due to those cradles, right? The cradles that we're rocking between the sextiles that are start in Pluto and end all the way almost where Jupiter is, right? Venus will be picking up that slack very, very soon. So, you'd have that talent trine with Pluto, Neptune, and Uranus, now all in air and fire signs. So, look, despite what some may think, there's no way that we hold all the answers. It just isn't, right? The information is changing very quickly now. And what you knew last week may not be sufficient this week, right? It's changing suddenly, and it's changing without warning. And this is evidenced by by Uranus and Gemini. So, Uranus is freaking electric at the moment. The tech glitches continue to compound. It's just crazy, right? Even as we get better established with some workarounds and greater access to some of these things, right? Yep. It isn't knowing the answer that's important right now because that has changed. Learning how to find the right answer is the new gold standard. Now, see if it applies to this weekend. I don't know. The moon in Virgo reminds us that more people than ever are into divinatory and magical information, and that includes astrology. Now, it could be just my algorithms on my feeds and stuff like that, but it seems like it's showing up in a lot of different places. There's a lot of information out there, but I advise some caution, right? Look, the moon in Virgo isn't so easily moved. Sure, curiosity is there when people are telling you, that curiosity is going to be there. But when people are telling you that, having Pluto in your first house is a rare combination, that's just, we got to make sure that we're genuinely helping folks with the information we're trying to spread and not just merely farming engagement with AI-generated content. Because that's essentially what's pretty much going on. There's an explosion of a style. And you notice that when you see the style starting to just explode, and you get people in the camera like this talking into a little microphone and trying to engage you with their looks rather than their information, with their little bullet points that are on a graphic. So just be careful because that could be AI generated, and if they don't know what they're talking about, cause more harm than possible good. All right, so get your astrology from respected places. All right, so now, the moon sextile Venus in Cancer is our final aspect of the day. Oh, that sounds good, right? So what's a sextile? 60 degrees, right? 2 signs away. So, we've got the moon in Virgo, and we've got Venus in Cancer. Sextile, 2 signs away. What's between them? Leo. All right, so we're skipping over Leo. Now, this is interesting because when you come up with things like this, that point that's in between, that Leo point between the two, if those 2 sextile objects are making a yod, which is just coming out 155-degree angles and converging on the other side of the chart, that is always opposite the sign that sextile is straddling. And that helps us find our answers in a way to some of these longer range questions. Now, is it necessarily this aspect? No, it is not. There are some planetary aspects that are in there that are very, very close to where we're going to need some answers. And those answers are actually in Virgo. So what would be... where would those be straddling? Well, that would be straddling Pisces, right? So the Pisces, that intuition, keep on telling you, man, this is where it's at. This is what we're talking about. We've got Pluto. We've got Pluto and Neptune sitting there. And if they're coming into sextiles, we're looking for answers, but we're looking for answers in a intuitive way in Virgo, which just fascinates Virgo. So the moon in Virgo is a perfect segue for that, right? So with that being said, the moon sextile Cancer being the final aspect of the day. Look, we have the entire afternoon and evening with this in mind, okay? So Venus Cancer, right? What are the possibilities and what makes most sense at this time? Venus in Cancer is rocking the upper hand here. Told you about that intuition thing, right? Limit the choices and follow your intuition. Now, this is a great weekend for cleaning up around your domestic areas. Are you kidding? Yeah, because a lot of people are opening up vacation homes. They're going there for the first time. Maybe they got there a little bit early, but there's still things that need to be done. So, does this sound sexy? Well, I guess that would depend on your Virgo placements. All right, so in 1618, the second defenestration of Prague, what's a defenestration? Throwing people out a window. 2 Catholic lords regent and their secretary are thrown out a window and amazingly are not seriously injured by the 70-foot fall. However, guess what? This triggers the 30 Years' War. Yep. All right, so... didn't get hurt, not seriously injured, but I'm sure it didn't, tickle. But anyway, and appropriate for this Memorial Day weekend, our birth is in 1052. It's Philip I. He's king of the Franks. All right, since he was 7, so I don't think he knew how to grill then. But he had regents. He had a Lord Regent for grilling back then. That sounds ridiculous, and I like it. He's born in Champagne-au-Fontaine in France, and that is all I have for you. Thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate and love every single one of you. Let's recap, shall we? Our keyword is flexing. Not this kind of flexing, but being flexible, okay? And the color is new red oak leaves. Kind of red, kind of green. A little bit of Mars thrown in there, right? Just for character. Yeah, I'd like that. All right, so... thank you so much for listening. Thank you for watching. Today is a 6. Do all that stuff. Like the stuff, right? Happy astrocatting.